Yo, it's me, DJ Trump. As you probably know, but I think it's important to remember going into the Indiana primary, I did some Ask Ignatium right a week ago on Super Tuesday 3, or Northeast White to be more specific, sweeping all 5 out of 5 states, and with that securing the Republican nomination. At this pace, I am on a clear path to reaching the 1,237 delegates needed. And even if I were to fall just a little short, just a Rand Paul short, worst case scenario, still, it would be real hard for the GOP to justify denying me my rightful throne as the Republican candidate. But this is some shit everybody knows. You hear this shit all the time, just like you also hear it a lot that there's no chance of me beating Hillary Clinton in the general. That's what the polls say. Kasich says it all the time. Lying Ted Cruz says it all the time, which makes it very unlikely to be true if you think about it, if lying Ted Cruz says it. And it's not. It's not true. I have every chance of beating crooked Hillary Clinton come November, and here's why. First off, voter turnout. Now I know that last Tuesday, Super Trump's Day, turnouts weren't all that good. In all 5 states, the Democrats had a bigger turnout, but if you think about it, this wasn't the usual case until last week. Prior to that, 34 states had both Republican and Democratic primaries, and in 24 of those states, more people voted on the Republican side. In 2 important swing states, Florida and Ohio, over 650,000 and over 800,000 more people voted on the Republican side, respectively. I know Pennsylvania kind of fucked up our swing state record, but I'm not worried at all, because, if you think about it, by the time the primary came, both of my opponents have been mathematically eliminated from the race. It's a mathematical impossibility that they reach the delegate number needed for the nomination. So the race is technically over. Of course, it's gonna affect the voter turnout. The 2 swing states before I won the primary, Florida and Ohio, were won by Republicans by massive margins. I don't give a shit about what the polls show. The left has a complete control over academia and media. You think political polling will be the one thing that they just can't get a hold of? Voting is different. Tampering with votes is a federal crime, unlike with polling data. That said, look at the results of the 2014 midterm elections. Look how red it is. That map you see is the result of the House elections, to be more specific, where Republicans gained 13 seats, achieving their biggest majority in the House since 1928. They also took over the majority in the Senate and won over 2 extra governorships. I know what people will say to that, oh, very low voter turnout, yeah. It was 36%, which translates to just above a mere 80 million people. Larger than any bullshit poll sample you can point to, crooked Hillary Clinton. And the thing is, political tides do not change all that frequently. The primary turnouts are a great testament to that. And those of you who say I can't win over independents, remember, my rise in the polls last summer didn't come from the GOP's core conservative constituent. They were pretty much locked for lying Ted. My base came from the more independent voters, who were less likely to vote Republican before. This is a great omen in the general. Don't believe me? Ask Donnybrook's political science professor Helmut Norpoth. Now, this story came out in February after the Nevada primary in the New York Post, and I shared it on my Facebook, so it's not a new thing to a lot of you people, frankly, but this little piece is worth browsing through one more time. The title is Get Ready for President Trump, says Election Wiz, who's scary accurate, if you want to Google it and read it for yourself. This man created a statistical formula which was able to accurately predict the winner of the popular vote in all but one election since 1912, based on the early primary numbers. The one election he missed was in 1960, where John F. Kennedy defeated crooked Richard Nixon by a margin of less than 1%. This formula says that my chance of winning is 97.6, at least. A Trump presidency is basically a statistical fact at this point. Want more proof? I snapped this a few days back. I googled the next president of the United States, and 3 of the first 4 image results is me. Now, if you Google it now, you'll get Crooked Hillary Clinton's name in bold letters. So much like many other things, that stinking cunt ruined that too. But good thing I noticed it in time. It's cool.